My name is Jack Ryder. Thank you for tuning in to Gotham Central News Network. Now this evening we have a very special program in line for you. We have two pre-taped interviews from our reporter on the scene, Vicky Vale, who went out earlier this week to interview Two-Face and the Riddler. And then later in the evening, for our special presentation of Halftime at the Ultra Bowl, I will be traveling out live to interview the Clown Prince of Crime himself, the Joker, in person. These are three of the most infamous supervillains to have ever been active in Gotham City, and we are proud to allow you to see these groundbreaking interviews in their entirety. Now, again, because of the nature of the people being interviewed, we want to let you know that viewer discretion is advised. Now stay tuned. After the commercial break, again, we'll be cutting to Vicky Vale in the first of her two interviews. This time, it'll be with Two-Face. Thank you and enjoy the show.
It is the product of the future. It is the secret smile.
Today we welcome former District Attorney Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. How are you doing today?
Just cheeky. How are you doing, bitch?
Fine. Thank you, Harvey, for asking. In your time as Gotham City District Attorney, your primary goal was to stamp out organized crime in particular. Where did that desire come from?
Ever since the time I was a young kid, all I could dream about was making this city a safe place to live in, a place that was respectable. You don't have to look far to see that I didn't do a very good job of that. How naive was I? Think I could actually bring down the Falcones.
Well, I feel like you need to give yourself a little more credit, Harvey. After all, your efforts were never before achieved, and no one since has come even remotely close to taking out the Falcone dynasty. If you don't mind, I would like you to take us back to that day that Salvatore Maroni was to be the star witness for the prosecution before the grand jury.
You mean the day of my rebirth?
If that's how you prefer to look at it.
What else would it be? It was the day of my enlightening. Yes, perhaps my face on the outside is a little more messed up. Perhaps it doesn't look that great. But that was the day that we finally joined and came together. It was the day of my rebirth for sure.
You seem to be appreciative of what happened to you.
I'm grateful for it. It opened my eyes.
Grateful in general, or grateful to someone specific, or
Grateful to Sal. Very grateful to Sal. I would never be where I am today if it wasn't for Sal.
But Harvey, he was your star witness for the prosecution. He betrayed you on the stand. Surely during your investigation something must have turned up that in fact he was working with the entity you were working so hard to bring down.
Are you kidding me? What do you think I do all damn day? Do you think I was sitting there in the bushes with a damn recorder, trying to listen to everyone? I had the freaking police at my disposal, and they failed me. Look where I am. I blame them for this.
Oh, okay. Sam, I think, why don't we take a break? Harvey, look, I'm not trying to upset you. We used to be
Doing
friends.
a pretty damn good job of it.
I'm very sorry. It's very important to me that everybody understands where it is that you're coming from, your perspective. I mean, think about everything you've gone through. For all intents and purposes, the universe thinks that you turned your back on the judicial system.
I did no such thing.
Your crime sprees, and essentially your life was turned upside down, and I can't even imagine how you began to deal with guilt leaving you.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us so far. I know that this is very hard-hitting stuff. Now, up next, we have the second of Vicky's interviews this week, in which she goes out to speak with the Riddler. Please stay tuned.
And now another example of our product. Observe this young man while he's doing his project, groggy, glass eyes. Now watch as he takes a sip of our fine product. Already he's wired and jolt and has a happy mood. This is the drink of the future. This is the secret smile.
Good afternoon, Gotham. Today we are here at the Elizabeth Arkham Halfway House interviewing Mr. Edward Nashton. Also,
Miss Vale, Nigma. Edward Nigma.
I'm very sorry. Edward Nigma, also known as the Riddler.
It's alright if you forget my name. Someone of your intellect tend to forget things like this.
Well, we are greatly appreciative of your intellect in gracing us with this interview today. To get right down to brass tacks, today we're in a completely different...
If you're to interview the Riddler, should you not start with a riddle?
If that would make you feel more comfortable, then by all means.
Very well. Riddle me this, Miss Vale. What starts on 4 legs, then 2, then all the way back to 3?
I believe the answer to that is a human being. We start off in our infancy, crawling about on 4 limbs. Once in adulthood, we walk about on 2 legs. And then once we reach elderly years, we have the help of a cane in addition to our 2 legs.
Nice try, Miss Vale. But the answer to all 3 is a baby. Sure, it walks around on 4, but cut 2 of them off, then you can just drag around on 2. And if you get it a cane, you can hobble around on 3.
Edward, pardon me for saying this. That's disgusting.
Why is it disgusting? It's not my child.
Well, it's an interesting view of humanity you seem to have, Mr. Nigma. Actually, I'd like to touch on that a little today. We're in a different sort of interview environment. Normally, we would not be in a halfway house. In fact, you would be incarcerated within the confines of the actual asylum. And I believe, if my information is correct, that you were given a reprieve directly from Mr. Warden Quincy Sharp himself.
Well, of course, I helped out the warden and the community of Gotham, and in return, I get this nice little halfway community to stay in.
Oh, how? So strictly out of generosity and not by any means of coercion or blackmail?
Why, Miss Vale, my sole benefit to the city is to better its intelligence. Should I not get a reward for that?
Mr. Nigma, on a more intimate topic, I would actually like to touch on the origins of your fascination with riddles.
Pass. I do not want to talk about my past.
Well, I dare say it's a story that deserves to be shared with the discerning viewers who will be watching this interview today. If you please, could you please take us back to your childhood?
Very well, if you must pry. My mother was a drunk. She had a minimum wage job. She never really cared for me. I barely had any toys and just puzzles and games. She always thought I was a terrible child, would not amount to anything, so when I was 10 years old, I sought to impress her. There was a great math equation contest in Gotham City. You'd be named the greatest mind of the young age in the city, and a nice little grant. And obviously, with my intellect, I passed it, and I got the grant.
That's wonderful. Surely your mother must have been proud of you for such an accomplishment.
Oh, on the contrary, she thought I cheated. She said, "You cheated!" She said she should have had that abortion, and she started beating me for the next 5 to 10 minutes. One of the worst days of my life.
Edward, I'm so sorry. That's a horrific thing for someone to endure.
Why is that horrible?
You worked for something, you wanted it badly enough, you won, and to have her lash out at you that way and accuse you of cheating, that's absolutely disgusting.
Don't be. Of course I cheated.
Mr. Nigma, as the Riddler, we have been audience to many outlandishly complicated schemes involving extraordinarily difficult riddles and often death traps. Do you not find these tactics narcissistic or even juvenile?
All I am simply doing, Miss Vale, is bettering our society of Gotham. If you citizens are just as intelligent as I am, they'd be nothing more than brain teasers and simple game puzzlers. Nothing more, nothing less.
Interesting. So you feel nothing wrong with holding hundreds of people hostage to their detriment to satisfy your curiosity over a puzzle, such as the infamous 0 Year event, where Hurricane Terra made landfall here in Gotham. Meanwhile, you, somewhat temporarily, but still successfully managed to hijack the city, including the power grids and our sewer lines.
But of course, a great way to make our society thrive and become more intelligent.
You must have been ecstatic to have the good luck to have a natural disaster come along at such an opportune time.
Opportune time. I already had this plan for months. It was nothing more than an added benefit. Nothing more, nothing less. Look at our society, Miss Vale. All these ridiculous reality shows and stupid games lowering our society. In hundreds of years, our society is going to crash down. The whole world is society crumbling down. I simply fast forward the process and save the city. If a few 100,000 had to die of it, so be it. And if you recall, if just one simple Gothamite would have made up a riddle, I would have returned all power to the city. But none of them were smarter, and they're realizing how horrible society was and how they would have to adapt. Everything was perfect. Until him.
Him? May we safely assume you're referring to the Batman?
Yes. Batman.
Well, I suppose that's the best topic to broach now. After all, you've had numerous encounters with the Dark Knight over the years. He's foiled very many of your plans and your schemes.
Miss Vale, if you're going to press my buttons on Batman, I suggest we play a game to relieve my stress. I like Yahtzee. And since I'm such a fine gentleman, I'll let you go first.
Well, thank you, Edward.
Of course.
Well, let me rephrase the question. In your assessment, what do you feel were the 3 most memorable occasions where you had interactions with, oh my goodness, Yahtzee?
What? How did you do it? How did you do it?
Edward, please calm down.
No, you can't. You must have done it.
Sam, please cut it.
My God, that Riddler is extremely unhinged. Well, coming up next, as you know, the Ultra Bowl. Yes, folks, it only happens once a year. But I'm happy to announce, in an even rarer move, our advertising partner, Secret Smile, has agreed to give away free samples of their amazingly popular energy drink at the halftime show for the Ultra Bowl. So, why don't you open up a can, sit back, and enjoy my one-on-one interview with the Joker that will air at halftime. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon, live. Thank you, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the first half of the Ultra Bowl. Welcome back to Gotham Central News Network and our special presentation, our live interview with the Joker. Joker, thank you.
Good to see you again, Jacko.
Oh, good to see you too, sir. And while we're passing out thanks, we want to thank the good folks at Arkham Asylum for giving up the warden's sitting room, and of course, the men with the high-powered rifles making it possible for us to sit with this most unique individual this evening.
Yes. Thank you, Johnny Law. Thank you very much.
And last but not least, we want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Secret Smile. Right now, those of you that are sitting at the Ultra Bowl are getting passed out free samples of this energy drink that is storming onto and off of shelves. Hope you enjoy it, folks.
It is killerlicious.
And with that, we're going to get on to our program this evening. Time's limited here this evening, and again, I thank you for being with us. But let's get right down to it. Now, why is it that you do these terrible things that you do, sir?
Why does anyone do what they do? People get up, people go to sleep. I mean, okay, picture it like this. Has a barista ever gotten your latte wrong and you just want to axe the shit out of everyone in the room? I mean, if I'm the only guy here who really considers that, then, you know, maybe I'm just crazy.
Well, maybe, I guess. I mean, there's been many different versions of your origin that have passed out, almost like urban legends. I mean, can you set the record straight? I mean, can you find like a defining moment that sort of brought you to where you are today?
Let me put it for you like this. A wise man once said, if you're going to have an origin, it's best to make it multiple choice scenarios.
Words for all of us to live by, I suppose.
There you go, jackass.
Joker, while we had you, I want to talk about some of your greatest hits.
Shh. Don't forget, folks, the newest sensation that's sweeping the nation. Secret Smile. It'll knock you dead on your feet. Okay, Johnny. Okay, all right. Got Dirty Harry over here.
Joker, if I can, I'd like to get serious for a moment and talk about your longest public relationship to date. Not the one with Harley Quinn, but the one with Batman.
Well, that's a great question, jackass. You could say he is the yin to my yang. The little bird brightened up the city with a little black. I think he's a walking contradiction.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of the evening. Joker, I want to thank you for the generous donation of your time this evening. Of course, I want to thank the good folks over at Arkham for putting this whole thing together.
Yeah. We got Johnny Law over there still pointing his gun at me.
No, of course, ever vigilant. Finally, I would like to thank our sponsor, Secret Smile. And Joker, though I, of course, thank you for the increased ad revenue you're going to bring to the Gotham Central News Network, I can't help but ask you why this uninterest in capitalism there?
Well, Jacko, why would I not support my own product?
Wait, you're not saying what I think you're saying, are you?
I'd also like to thank my laughing gas for knocking out these unconscious idiots. But to you, the thousands in the stadium, is that drink giving you a boost? Is it making you a little lethargic?
Good evening, folks. Breaking news. It is with a heavy heart that Gotham Police Department Commissioner James Gordon has revealed to the press today that the massive tragedy at the Ultra Bowl was in fact caused by the energy drink Secret Smile, which in fact had been produced by a shell company owned by the Joker. The big question on everybody's mind today is, where was Batman in all of this? We honestly just don't know. Gotham Detective Harvey Bullock says that investigation is ongoing. Oh my God. Sam, what's going on?
I don't know, man. What the? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sam?